Looks like the chalk slogan that got erased. The water's already at least a third evaporated, so who knows, maybe it'll be dry again in another 10 minutes or so, in which case I'll rewrite it where it was. But in the meantime, I have made a couple of, well, actually made one more slogan here at the west side entrance of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. Unitarians cover up and deny clergy abuse. Very straightforward, very general, and very true, unfortunately. Unitarians do in fact cover up and also outright deny all forms of clergy abuse committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers, including such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers, such as Reverend Mac Wallace Mitchell and the minister of the, or one of the ministers of the Cincinnati, or was it Indianapolis? I'm getting a little, I think it was, yeah, you know what? Could have been both for all I know, but yeah, I think it was the Cincinnati church had a bit of a pedophilia problem a while back. But who knows, you know, maybe it's Indianapolis too, you know, the way Unitarians keep this all so secret. You know, it's hard to tell exactly which Unitarian Universalist churches have been affected by clergy abuse. In fact, if you broaden out to all forms of clergy abuse, so that would include, you know, not just the sexual stuff, but also verbal abuse, psychological abuse, abuse of power, embezzlement, you know, defrauding congregants of their money and so on, you know, that type of thing does happen. Well, then, you know, pretty much every Unitarian church has probably had at least some level of clergy abuse occur at some point in the last 50 plus years since the merging of the Unitarian Church in America and also the Universalist Church in America. So the merger was in 1961. We're not even talking about, you know, what happened before 1961, but since 1961. There's been, according to, you know, reliable reports, clergy sexual misconduct of one kind or another occurring in 400 plus Unitarian Universalist congregations. That's around 40% of Unitarian Universalist congregations, and this is a very solid figure. It's sort of the lowest end figure. Other people estimate that you know, 2/3 or 70% of Unitarian Universalist congregations have had some form of clergy sexual misconduct occur in them, and that's limiting it to clergy sexual abuse, not broader forms of abuse. And unfortunately, Unitarians do in fact go to considerable lengths to cover up and deny all forms of Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse. So we're going to continue with our little protest. We were off to a very good start. We had an interesting chat with a couple of Unitarian Universalists from Florida, and they seemed incredibly naive when I first started talking with them. They seemed to believe that there was no clergy sexual misconduct in Unitarian Universalism at all. They certainly didn't think there was any in their church in Florida, or indeed in Florida. I've heard of some cases of clergy abuse occurring in Florida. You know, so we had a nice little chat about that. I explained, you know, my point of view to them. They were actually doing a pretty good job of engaging in a free and responsible search for the truth and meaning of my protest here. They saw these picket signs and wondered what it was all about. They were initially in denial, you know, thought I was out to get the Unitarians and blah blah blah. Well, even if I was, you know, what I'm saying is true, you know. But you know, this protest started as a seeking justice for non-sexual clergy misconduct committed by Reverend Ray Drennan here at the Unitarian Church of Montreal. It quickly broadened out into seeking justice for victims of clergy sexual misconduct, because, you know, when I complained about Reverend Ray Drennan's non-sexual clergy misconduct. It was dismissed by the Reverend Dr. John A. Buren's UUA administration. They pretended that everything he did was acceptable.